Available now on Pro Wrestling Tees. 3 brand new Mac Attack t-shirts, the Maccast, Tag Team Adventures, and the Training School, only at ProWrestlingTees.com/Maccast.
Ladies and gentlemen, currently broadcasting, accompanied by trainee number 1 from France. He is Monster Mack.
Holy frickin' crap, everybody! Can you believe it, trainee?
There was no warning there. We just went right into recording.
Absolutely, because
it's episode 50, son.
I'm excited. Can you believe it?
I can.
We had the Mac team working day and night training to get these special guests.
But before we get started, I want to get a group cheers in here for episode 50. Gentlemen, I don't know if you'll pick your beers up. Get them to clang. Oh, hold on. Episode 50, thank you guys for coming down. It's been much appreciated. Mac, you got any Mac news? So I'll finish that beer.
The Mac news is that the Maccast has made it to 50 episodes. Can you believe it?
53, I think, because we have all those backlogged ones.
That's going to happen in the future. We don't have to know about that.
That's all the Mac news?
That's it.
Well, tonight
we're going to get right into it.
This actually was a Ryan Drew suggestion. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. He threw it out on the Facebook suggesting you two for episode 50 in the house in the Mac Mansion tonight. We have Brickhouse Baker and Sweet Scott Ashworth. What's up, guys?
Not much. How you guys doing?
You guys can just take this mic. We're going to share that one. That one's for you guys.
All right.
Hey, partner, wait. Drew didn't do that. He said episode 50 because we're almost 50.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's messed up, partner. That's messed up.
When the Maccast episode 50 came in mind, you guys are the guys I automatically thought of, and I'm just glad it's actually going down.
Oh, we're glad to be here.
But, so, I mean, the first thing that we did when you guys got here, obviously other than break open the brews, was pop on some old Yankee Pro from, I think this is, 2001? And we watched the Big Dick Dudley, Psycho Sam Dudley match first, and Brickhouse, all you kept talking about was how much hair you had and how in shape you were.
I mean, come on, 15 years ago, holy moly.
It's been a quick minute.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, Brickhouse, we've had you on before, and I know, Ash, you did Teddy's podcast, right? You did the Biff and Ted podcast.
Yeah.
So we're not going to really bog it down with, like, interviews and questions. I kind of just want to bullshit and drink a little bit, tell some funny stories. I don't know if you guys are cool with that.
We're cool with anything.
Anything? All right.
We're fine.
Now, Ash, I got a story for each of you. Ash, a lot of times new kids will come up to me and they'll talk about how they feel intimidated saying hi to some of the veterans in the locker room and stuff, and how they feel strange. And I like to tell them about how for years, Ash, you would say hi to me twice at every show. You'd give me, with no mask on, you'd give me the normal, hey, how's it going, kid, handshake. Mask is on, Master Max, you son of a bitch, give me a big old hug. For years, and I have to explain it to them that it's not, like...
Yeah, right. He thinks you are two people.
Right. But I gotta, like, let them know, like, hey, guys, it's, don't feel too intimidated. Like, this happened for years. Ash knew me for years already. And, you still get the hug and the handshake.
Well, that's you put your uniform on. I didn't recognize who you were.
I get that every single time I go to a wrestling show, but I feel not until we actually battle these guys inside the ring, that's when we get the full, like, hey, it's the Monster Mac guys.
Yeah.
It's always the Monster Mac guys.
And Brickhouse, recently, not recently, but you've been running the House of Brick shows even before you retired. How's retirement been and transitioning to a promoter?
I want to wrestle.
Yeah,
I want to wrestle, but I know I can't.
Right.
So I'm good with that. You know what I mean? So I got to live with it. He tests those ropes. I watch him up there. I say, he's going to come back. He tests those ropes. He runs one way. He runs back and forth. Yeah, he's got the edge.
That's why you like to set up your ropes. Absolutely, at the last thing you do. I always tell the guys because they're always like, "Oh, the ropes are going to be loose. Are they going to be all right?" And I said, "No. Baker's going to tighten them up. Very last thing he does for the ring."
That's exactly what I do.
So you can run the ropes.
I know how everybody wants the ropes. So when
Right.
I tighten up that ring, I know what everybody's looking for. If I have other people set it up, they'll say, "Oh, the rope's loose." I know once that you tighten up them ropes and you have guys hit them ropes, everything expands and comes back in. It'll slack. so you got to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't do that. They just set it up. That's good. Go. You know, safety. You know, got to make sure.
Safety first, then teamwork.
Yep.
You're
getting wild out there.
Is that Tex McCoy in there?
Yeah. Texie.
Texie. Man, always trying to get a hold of Texie. He's never coming around, though.
No, he's one of the guys I would like to see again.
I always put the word out, you know. I talk to his buddy Brian, and then I tell him, hey, tell Tex come by, you know. And I don't know if he gets the messages or not, but
Tex,
you know, we'd love to have Tex around.
Yeah.
That-
Tex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I swear.
He needs to bring the cowboy hat and everything.
Bring out the
Chaps, the cowbell, yeah.
We need Tex.
20 minutes before you touch him because he yells at every single person in him. Remember, so long.
Tex was one of the guys that would wrestle, and we'd all be like, watch his matches and be like, Tex, get in the ring. Tex, get in the ring. Tex, get in the ring. Hey, it took Tex. He get in the ring, he out of the ring. He in the ring. He was more out of the ring than in the ring. It was just funny.
Yeah, that's who Pretty Boy was related to. Punisher.
Yeah,
He came up.
Right.
I was trying to
Jose,
remember.
Pond.
Yeah.
Yep, Pretty Boy Hernandez. Yep.
Yeah.
That one of my favorite things about House of Bricks is that I get to see all these old legends.
Brother.
Ouch!
Older.
Some of these older guys that I haven't seen in years that used to wrestle back in Yankee Pro Wrestling come back to the ring and do their thing.
So when are we going to see Flash, I think is what he's asking.
I've been looking.
You've been looking.
I still
I've
got
been
my
looking.
Flash
I've been
foam
asking.
hand. I still got the foam hand, so I'll bring it if you can bring him back.
That's awesome.
He's got that. I think he's got a nice old school Brickhouse Baker 8x10 somewhere too.
I'm sure
It's
he
in this
does.
house
I
somewhere.
had you sign it. That's how I got booked for House of Bricks. I brought the old 8x10, and I was like,
Is that
check
what it
this
was?
shit
Is that
out.
what it was?
I was just doing Battle Royals,
Way to go,
and
kid. Way to go. Hey, way to go.
I was a lumberjack at the time, so...
Well, you brought that 8x10, you
Yeah.
went right to the main event.
Now, say congrats on that last show. Drew really well.
Yeah, that was great. That was
And
great.
speaking of your retirement, there was a retirement match that evening.
Who? There was?
It was unsanctioned by the House
that
of Bricks
definitely was
committee.
unsanctioned.
Yeah.
We'll get that
Yeah,
big
we didn't
top
really-
out of it, though.
But, yeah.
It saw JB Tickle taking on Everett Briggs in his last match ever, we think.
Yeah, I told him it better be.
Yeah. I was going to say, if
I
he's
don't-
retiring on your show.
That's like I'll never come back either. You know what I mean? I'm all done. I realize that. You know what I mean?
Some guys have 4 or 5 of them.
Oh,
man.
600 retirements. You can't take
When
it.
I go, you'll never see me again. No last show, nothing. Bye-bye. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, do you think, because before the podcast you were talking about how you wanted them to try to live up to your retirement match with Jose. How do you feel that they hung out there?
No,
No,
they don't
no.
hang out there. I'm going to be honest. It's just like when you have somebody says, okay, you can do this and you're going to retire, you know, make sure you pick the right person to retire with, because
Right.
if you got someone that's not going to be on the same page as you got to go somewhere else, because remember, it's your last match.
Right.
It's going to be launched in everybody's memory, and my memory launched into his last match.
That coast to coast
Yes.
was killer.
Holy moly.
Speaking of last matches, I seen, I don't know if you guys remember the Wolfman. Whose student was he? He came from...
Kowalski guy.
I seen his retirement match at Showcase Pro Wrestling, and he wrestled Cargill Vinton. And Cargill Vinton beat the shit out of him the whole entire match. He didn't have one comeback, and then it was done. That's how he retired. And you know, the Wolfman wasn't the greatest wrestler, but
No comeback.
I liked his gimmick, and zero comeback. He got it totally
No
squashed.
fire
I shed a tear for the Wolfman that night.
One single tear rolled down the side of his mask.
for his whole career. Jeez, that's horrible, and didn't even get a chance to wrestle back.
Now, Ash, since we got you here, and I haven't heard too much information about this, and I think that you might have a little bit of an idea. What happened with WCW?
WCW.
Like Wayland City Wrestling? Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. Keep your eyes and ears open after the new year. There might be another
A little something.
Little something, a little different business model.
Gotcha. I feel ya. Yeah. But that was a place that we always loved, like hanging out. Like even if you're not on the shows, there's always wrestlers in the crowd at the bar. It's tons of fun old time. But
it's just too much, When this day and age of trying to run every month, it's Yankee and South Coast way back. All the houses started dropping because we were running the PAL
twice a month.
Yeah. So, all right, we can't go this week. That's all right. 2 weeks later, we can go. I think now it's better. Give us some time. 3, 4
between shows.
Yeah,
Well, at least in the same building.
Yeah.
Right. Because you can run.
You can run like
Fall River and then run New Bedford.
Right.
Yeah, towns. But if you're going to the same building and trying to, the business is so exposed to try to run stores. What do they mean?
Right.
I'd rather go in like he does.
You get like 1 or 2 storylines, right? And then
you just right. You
can't get too involved.
Like bringing in someone new and pushing them and stuff like that. Opportunists. Who else is going to give half these kids an opportunity to even get in the ring? None. You know what I mean? So when these kids come down, I give them a shot. I don't care. Somebody had to give me a shot.
Well, that was something cool. I remember at the House of Brick show this weekend, you were talking to the Middlesex Express guys about how, like, they were so grateful that you gave them a shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they won the tag team tournament. They won the tag
team
belts,
champions,
and I know that was a big deal to them.
Yes, it was.
And
They're coming right along, though.
they are. They're picking it up quick, and I enjoy their shtick. Obviously, that I think their shit's funny.
Yeah,
Right.
I love it.
And
I love it.
I love wrestling
One of
those
the hottest
dudes.
Tag teams around right now with them guys.
Right, for sure. I love wrestling those dudes because I know we're gonna have a easy, fun match every time.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And I just remember watching them, like, you were schooling them. Like, you're a very hands-on promoter when it comes to certain things. And you wanted a certain stuff out of them. And I watched you, like, tell them and them look up at you with the big eyes and the smiles, listening and nodding and stuff like that.
The thing is, they got it.
Right, and they did.
They got
and
it.
the match.
That's what amazed me is
Right.
they actually got it. They were just missing that one little thing. And it was just like someone had to guide these kids or show these kids something.
Yeah.
And all I did was keep it simple for them. Keep them simple-minded, and they just looked at me like. But the thing is they listened.
Yeah,
that's what makes them better. Is they already listened. I mean, it's unbelievable because when I first watched them, and with Jordan,
right, yeah.
Jordan and my son David told me about them. Like, Dad, you're booking them guys. I'm like, yeah, why? And like, I saw them at WCW,
right,
and I was like, oh my Lord.
Right.
And then I went downstairs and I talked to them kids for like almost 2 hours, man, an hour and a half.
Yep.
And from that time, that night, to the time they came and wrestled for me, oh my word, 100%. I
Right.
mean, they turned it around like, oh my word. And it was just good for them.
Right.
Good for them. That's that.
They care. I think they talk during like when we were rolling, we cared about looking good out there.
Right. And they do.
Right.
They do.
I think they listen. I don't know.
They talk. I know they talk a lot between each other during the week.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Coming up with ideas and going over stuff that people tell them and stuff. But that's what I love about those House of Brick shows. Like you said, has that old school. I don't want to say Yankee feel to it, but it has like an old school. You're giving the new kids a shot. You have a lot of the older guys in there. Do you feel like that's what's missing with wrestling? Because I mean, you see a lot of people online saying pro wrestling's dead, and there's like 20 promotions that run New England. So like houses are not exactly as great as they were.
The way I look at pro wrestling in the indies is the people you have on your cards, the talent you have, are what bring in the tickets.
Right.
I don't care what promotion you are. You have great talent. You have good matches. People love what you do. They're gonna come back.
Right.
You sell a lousy product, ain't nobody coming.
Nobody's
back.
coming.
It's the same thing with anything.
It's wrestling's weird because it has like subdivisions. You know what I mean? Like House of Brick shows, family friendly, over the top characters, stuff like that. But you're not going out there and like the Beyond Wrestling kind of fan. There's not much crossover between the two. You know what I mean?
No,
there's not groups of families going to Beyond shows to watch a 9-hour wrestling event with every move in the book.
Right.
And you're not getting those hipster kids at the House of Brick shows sitting in the baseball field.
No, we cater to the
kids,
family
yeah.
because that's a night out for families. I mean, so they can say, well, we're gonna go watch pro wrestling locally, and it's cheap
and
enough.
It's affordable.
It's affordable.
And it's,
right.
I don't know how many times I've been stopped in Stop and Shop in Fairhaven, and people just, and I'm looking at them like, who was that? I don't know, And then you start shooting the breeze, and then the next thing hey, sweet, I was at the baseball field with my kid. It's kind of a cool feeling, to be able to do it locally and have people enjoy it and kind of put you over after, I
actually just bumped into the real deal Joel Davis recently in Taunton. Bumped into him. He was just kind of walking around. I guess he does MMA now. He used to wrestle up in that area, the Taunton area.
He used to wrestle for us on Cogswell Street. Too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I bumped into him recently. Does MMA now and stuff. He looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in pretty good shape. Yeah.
He's got to be about our age, too.
Oh, he is.
A little bit older.
I don't know.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a little bit older.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he is. Yeah,
He
you're
was
right.
around
You're right.
before-
He was around a little bit before we were.
Now, it seems like a lot of these old Yankee shows, the names that got brought in got put with you guys a lot, you two
Right.
specifically. Why do you think that is? Like, obviously, the work rate. Oh, this is I had two stories. My other story, I forgot the first one was, I spaced it out completely. The first one was Ash saying hi to me twice every show. But when I was younger, I used to play a computer game called EWR. And it was like a booking game.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you two were in
moved
it.
around.
You were both
Yeah,
in it. And I always remember thinking, like, how cool that was. And watching you guys, and you were in the game and stuff, and like us with Paul Lombardi, like hacking the game to enter ourselves in it and shit. But you guys were really in the game. Do you have any idea how that came about? Like how they
Somebody created it, and it wasn't us. It was created.
Right.
by some
Yeah. There was a
fan or
lot of
something.
yeah.
And
It's the first I've ever heard of it.
there's a
man.
a lot.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of our names on there.
There's a lot of
Like,
those guys.
I was a Big Dog.
Right.
Wilson's on there. Fuller's on there.
Yep.
I think. So a fan created some video.
I got it on my
game
laptop.
all
I'll
of a
show it to you before we bounce.
Yeah. You gotta check it out.
No, it's
Oh,
old. This is from like the
from
90s. Yeah, like the late 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you knew that.
No, man.
Yeah, it gives you guys, gives your name, your attributes, all kinds of shit, where you work. Yeah. I'm gonna I'll pull up my laptop later on. I got it right on there still.
Education over here.
And just to let you know, he constantly booked you guys while playing it. He would always use you. So
Signed you guys to the contract.
Kind of. We're like fan favorites. No.
Right.
I know for a video game we never really saw.
I downloaded that shit for free, so I don't know. But so like, what do you think it was the reason that you guys were always like? Right now, we're watching you with the Tonka. Earlier, we watched you guys and Big Dick and stuff. Was it because you guys were the safe bets? You knew they knew you were gonna go out there and.
They knew that when they put us with one of these guys, we were gonna perform. That they knew they weren't gonna get, like, let's say, they're not gonna get a lot of botches out of us. Right. They're not gonna get any out of us. You know what I mean? So, but everybody botches, so I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, it's just I never said, hey,
are you on Botchamania?
I want to wrestle this guy or this guy or this guy.
Right.
We just showed up at the arena. Now, we'd go in the locker room, and we'd wait for the lineup. When the lineup came, we'd look at the lineup and go,
oh, shit.
our main event. Oh, all right, I got Atlas. Or you got this guy, or he's got this guy.
I feel like Tony Atlas was there a lot.
The Bushwhackers, they asked for us a lot. Hey,
right, you guys worked.
Yeah,
we did them for a year.
We did them.
Yeah, everywhere.
Just everywhere. What great heat.
Two times a weekend, probably.
They were still doing pay-per-views.
Yeah,
and then come down and wrestle
down
for us.
3 out of 4 weeks in the month. Right, yeah. They'd come in,
in between their
and they'd be
pay-per-views
on the
and stuff.
TV on Monday.
That was like did they have like a contract that they could do stuff like that,
have
or
no idea what
did Joe have some sort of weird hookup? I'm sure, right?
I don't know, but they were on the mules. Because Joe used to have 50 telemarketed shows.
Right. Pre-sold shows.
Sold good coin, big houses. Sometimes four names would come in.
Right.
But you used Greg a lot for a while.
Greg, Brutus.
'Cause I worked with Greg numerous times.
Yeah, a ton of times.
Yeah, well, Eddie was
Brian
Brutus
Knobs.
was in town.
We always use Brian Knobs a lot.
And Knobsy, I worked with him for a long time. Too many, I don't know. No, the chair.
Oh, the chair shot.
The chair.
The chair.
And
I remember that show.
well, one day with the garbage barrel, it was like one of those industrial strength you put in the city.
Right, yeah.
I said, hey, Jesus.
Now, who were your favorites to work with? Was it the Bushwhackers?
Our favorite what?
Your favorite people, like names that they brought in to work with?
Well, I mean, this guy's already gonna know. I mean, it was great to wrestle the Bushwhackers, but I mean, I wrestled Larry Sabisco.
So that's the one, right?
I mean, come on. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, we went up.
AWA. I mean, you're going back in my years now as a kid.
He
So-
couldn't even walk.
I couldn't
He
walk.
wasn't. No, he
I was in the
going.
hospital that morning.
Oh, shit.
I had swelling on my spine.
I had practice, and then we had some autograph deal. I was already back almost to 495 when he called me. He goes, I gotta go. I'm like, so I got, you know how you go like 495 to Middleborough?
Yeah.
I had to go all the way,
Big
come
loop
back,
back
come
around.
on, all the way
I'll
to the
come
city,
get you, he
all
said.
the way back. And then it was 495. It was a straight shot where we were going in Worcester. And I was like, so again, we were late. I had a chance to be almost on time.
Almost.
But
One of us messes up.
yeah, well, look, this thing was supposed to start at 8 tonight. What time is it now?
The 10th, yeah, it's almost 11. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went outside to meet you guys, and you're like,
Just a tad.
why are we gonna treat these kids any different? We've been treating promoters for 15 years. I was like, we will wait. You guys are the main event, man. Like, there's no problem here. So Zabisco is yours, right? That's obviously a big one.
As of being in the ring with a legend or something like that, yeah. Just knowing the heat he had in the AWA and stuff like that, was
Right.
Just greatest heel, one of the greatest
Yeah,
heels
yeah,
ever.
it's-
You know what I mean?
So I knew you loved the Bushwhackers because when we feuded with you
They were
and
fun.
when
They
we feuded
were
with you and
fun.
David,
They were fun.
You gave us all kinds of Bushwhacker spots to do during the matches.
Yeah, because
and we were like,
they were
yes,
fun
no
to do.
problem. Yeah.
Fun to do.
What about you, Ash? Who's your top guy that you got to name? I don't want to say like out of everybody.
There was I was very fortunate. That's still when I worked with Steve Perkins and Terry.
You're doing a lot of the was the NEW or no
Big time.
big time. I always get the two confused.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. Tito, I had a lot of good matches with Tito. I'm trying. That's tough. And Hacksaw was so light like a feather, so beautiful. Yeah, Hacksaw was fun. I think
too, though.
Oh yeah, I worked with him a lot. But George the Animal,
Right.
I loved him as a kid.
Yeah,
And when I worked with him, that might have been stiff, but that might have been.
I was gonna say Foster. We had Foster on a couple episodes ago, and he talked about working George Animal Steel and how he just beat the shit out of him.
Broke his arm.
Yeah, he was.
Broke his
Yeah,
arm,
really
yeah.
beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't take. I don't know. It depends, I guess, how you start,
Right,
whether
yeah.
where it's gonna go. But we were in New Hampshire, and he put me up for the deal there, and his knee went boom.
Popped out.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I wasn't going out for up and down.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he broke the gimmick out. They used to put in the T. He put, that was the finish.
Right. Yeah.
Boy, yeah, that was the finish.
Right home.
But that was kind of cool. I tagged with Jimmy Superfly a couple times. That was kind of cool. We did the deals. I did the ass bump. He did the thing. But like looking across and saying, man, I saw him.
Jimmy Snuka, right?
And I saw him do that from the top of a cage in Madison Square Garden. I'm like, so that was kind of cool. But everybody was fun to work with.
Oh yeah, man.
You
I got
know,
so much memories. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you asked what was my favorite. It
Right.
wasn't really
Not
like
a name, right? But like, because you guys worked with a lot of talented people then,
Yeah,
you know.
just in the indies.
Right.
A couple months ago, me and the Godfather tag.
Right.
Oh, did we have some fun? That was like pretty good chemistry.
Just for the first time, just randomly slapped together.
You know, it was kind of cool.
Well, I mean, Ash, you got that like natural flow to you. You know what I mean? You're jiving out there all the time. You know, I can see how Godfather would connect with that.
Yeah, it was good.
I think it was the dance moves.
Yeah, we had some fun. We were in Webster, and he said to me, we went in the back. He said, "Have you been to this place before?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, they were kind of behind you." I said, "This is my town. That's my favorite wrestling town now, Webster." Yep.
Say now, was
I
it
wrestled him in Webster. It was awesome. What a crowd. Oh, my God. They love this guy.
Say on the ground?
No, I said what a crowd.
Oh, I think you said on the ground. I was like, what the hell?
On the ground.
It's
No,
a festival show.
Oh, too over that stuff.
Now, hold
It
on.
was good stuff. Yeah,
I wrestled you.
Yeah.
You took me up there.
Yeah.
Needed an extra guy.
Now, you guys call each other partner, which has transcended now a lot of my friends who are tag teams
Yeah,
call
we
each
call each other
everybody's partner, but
You know what? And
you guys
you
were the
know, they got it
original
from us.
partners. Yeah, you guys were for sure
Yeah, they
the
told
original
us, "Oh, we got it
partners.
from you guys, or whatever.
So everybody gives their props where it's due.
It's all right.
Trainee has not called me teach yet, though. You know, I'm trying to teach him everything I know. Still won't call me teach. You're the only teach he knows.
That's messed up, though.
Yeah.
You're just a trainer.
You're a trainer, not a teacher, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
over here.
Boy, he ain't learning nothing.
So you guys tagged for a while, but obviously you guys had a lot of matches against each other.
Yeah, when I got back, we actually wrestled. He was a good guy, I was a bad guy. So actually, I was always a bad guy.
Did you guys have that chemistry right away?
Yeah, we had good matches. Yep.
Yeah,
we knew the flow was there. It was like he knew what he was doing, I knew what I was doing.
I remember we were at Barnstable County Fair on the Cape. we did the bullshit gimmick at the beginning.
Malasada.
We didn't touch each other 7.5 minutes. We locked up. The place went berserk. Berserk.
When you finally made that.
Yeah. And it was deep. It was
deep.
a nice
was
show.
There
Looked
over
out.
1,000 people there. That'd be over
At
1,000
least.
people there. It was packed.
People going crazy, but jump around. Oh, it was. Yeah, that was. Yep, they were right in it. It was a lot of fun. But we had those all over.
Those packed shows like that?
Dad and me and him, whatever. It was good.
Now, what would not your favorite match with each other, but the most memorable? Was it that one with the deep crowd, that connection you guys had together?
No, when we Joe would tell us to go, "Hey guys, anything goes anyway in the arena." Oh, all right. So
Those are the ones.
well, the whole thing is that every time we had one, we would go clean off the concession stands with all the pitches and stuff. I would drag Ash down the tables, and he'd swim.
Right, yeah.
He'd swim. Oh, they got so mad at us.
And Joe one day was like, he stopped us, and he was like in the, blocking like a traffic cop.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but we sidestepped him, and I took it out again.
Yeah.
Speaking of the concession stands, at your House of Brick show, David Baker, your son, sells into our merch booth, grabs a 3XL t-shirt, and bounces the hell out of there with our shirt. I come upstairs, I talk to our merch guy, he's like, oh, David Baker grabbed the shirt, and he dipped out. I don't know where he went. I went in the locker room, I grabbed one of his boots, I put it in my merch box. I went and found him, I was like, hey, I got your boot, you got my shirt, let's do a trade.
So next time we're brawling on the outside of the ring and we're next to another wrestler's merchandise stand, that's it. You sell.
Yes, you got a shirt. You got a shirt. It'll wipe the sweat off your face.
But
Tell him you didn't bring a towel.
But I told him that I had his boot. He's like, not even my boot. It's my pop's boot. I don't even care. And I was like, oh, I can't steal Brickhouse's boot. Like, what the fuck?
He has all my gear.
All of it, right? Singlet
All
too,
of it,
right?
Singlet, everything. I know that won't fit me again.
Yeah.
Y'all wrestling him right now.
Yeah, this is the opposite. If you take that gear and put it on David, and I'm retired.
And
Now David's dressed like me, the black knee.
And Devin wears the bikers now too.
Yeah.
So it just moved down. Everybody just bumped down one
Just
bump.
bump down.
So we got a House of Brick show coming up.
Yes.
The 18th of 19th? 18th.
Yep.
18th of November.
18th.
New Bedford at
Friday.
I don't know where it's at. I don't know the address.
You knew that it was in New Bedford.
Right, I know it's in New Bedford, and it's
Credit on that one.
it's like a gymnastics place.
Gymnastic Academy. Yeah.
All right. So what's we got anything secret info about that show? Any matches we can talk about? Announce maybe?
Nah, I got
Nothing.
I got a girls match. I mean, I got John Cena's father coming down again.
John Senior.
Yeah, Mr. Senior. You know. Other than that, just the normal.
He is. He
He's
stole
an
my
awesome
Sharpie
dude.
at the show, though.
He's an awesome
Son of a bitch. Took my Sharpie. I didn't know nothing to sign.
Yeah, just, and I got the Middlesex Express. Of course, they're going to defend their belts. The Southern Champions going to defend their belts. I hear a little in the background. I know you guys are leaning on me a little bit right now. Right? You can lean back the other way.
You knew
Yeah, just a tad. You guys are breathing on me.
Yeah.
Heavy right now.
Your new heavyweight champion, Christopher Cruz. I'm sure he's going to be there. Congratulations to him.
The props to Chris Cruz. He's a talented hand, and he's been for a while.
He's well deserved for that kid.
For sure.
That kid. Yeah, he's done a lot.
Chris Cruz is a guy that started with us and Scott Levesque back in the day, and he's one of the only few that still doing it. It's like us, Levesque, him, and Bloodstone, Anthony Stone, whatever his wrestling name is now. He's forever Bloodstone to me.
Sexy Jesus.
Yeah, sexy Jesus.
Wrestling savior, right? He's the wrestling
whatever
Jesus.
works.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever works. We all try to save wrestling.
Yeah. I think you're doing a wonderful job at these House of Brick shows. One of my favorite promotions to wrestle at, definitely. And it's always a good locker room there. Besides the time when you let 7-year-olds run around your locker room and hit me in the face with skull canes. That's the time that I don't enjoy.
Well, that's your fault.
Right, yeah, it's for sure his fault.
A 7-year-old.
Say that I was antagonizing her, but
Well, listen.
I let her use my cape.
The 7-year-old had a cane, and you're gonna go pick on her. I don't think you should pick on anybody with a weapon.
Yeah, and with a Voodoo Man, right? She had Voodoo Man's skull cane.
That's who I worked with, man. Voodoo Man.
See?
That's Cavan's boy from years and years ago.
She was possessed there for a second. There,
Yeah,
while they
yeah.
whacked you in the head.
I was sitting at the table talking to Dick Lane, and I turned and I just watched him get fucking walloped by that thing in the middle of his face. If you look closely, it looks better.
That
He's got
night, hey,
right, probably because
the head fell off. I saw it.
that's because he took that shit for. It's because he took that shit for real.
It up first. She wanted it up
Trying
in my
to pick it up,
face.
put it back on.
Twisting it on and off during the match.
It's funny.
Oh man, but those shows, I feel like the locker rooms are real laid back, and it shows that
pressure,
people are
guys.
having fun.
There's no pressure, guys.
It shows that people are having fun again.
I want people to have fun.
Right.
I want the workers to have fun. I want us to all have fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I stress out like a son of a bitch.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I just make it fun. You know. So
You're not just one of the.
But
You're not just one of the boys showing up anymore. You got a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right. I have to. It's in my blood. I can't wrestle no more.
Right.
I just thrive on this stuff. I don't know why, but I'm addicted to it. So but I give back.
Yes.
See,
I say you usually do charity
Joe
shows.
Eugenio. See, even partner knows. We have done so many charity shows, let alone
Right, yeah,
the
yeah.
paid shows or whatever you want, guys. But we've done so much. I did a show for 9/11. I done a show for cancer, leukemia for a little girl,
Autism.
Whatever.
Yeah,
All right?
just whatever it is.
We did one for Make a Wish.
Yeah.
I've done one for Veteran Slam. I'm just all I'm doing is trying to give back because, like partner says, wrestling is just a hobby. We have real jobs,
Right.
And a lot of us have real jobs.
Yeah.
And if you're a pro wrestler, and I know you make it a little big time, and you say, "Well, I do this for a living." Well, make sure you put your money away like a football
Right.
player.
Yeah.
because
Save
your
that
living's
shit.
gonna end.
'Cause
It's going to end.
I remember
And
reading.
it can be
what
any
is it?
day.
80% of people after 4 years after the NFL are bankrupt or broke or something like that.
Yeah.
It's insanity. NBA,
right.
yeah,
NBA is the same thing. You got it because you got to invest in something. You want to open up a business. You hope your business takes off because that would be your fallback for when you're out of whatever sport you're in.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to do something like that.
You can just put your money away.
Or you can just put your money away and be smart.
Say put it in your mattress, save it. That's
Right.
Yeah. when you see guys, even some of the boys, rest 5, 6, 7 cars, you only can drive one at a time.
Yeah.
And you got to need all that, you know?
Right. Why do you need all that?
You need carpool, you know what I mean? Get everybody together. I feel like a lot of the wrestling has lost the camaraderie that way, where boys are driving to shows by themselves. Nobody's really packing a car full of 5 dudes and doing long road trips.
We used to load
anymore.
vans.
Right, exactly.
Vans,
yeah.
All the ring truck all the way to the show.
And they'd be
and then
half
get
the
out,
roster
and
in the
half
van.
guys would unload that thing. You know what I mean? But
those were fun times. Taxi driving, taxi.
Me, taxi. Somebody else drive. Somebody else drive.
I'll drive again.
No,
not you, please.
How about that time I drove us all in the rain to Connecticut?
Yeah?
And you guys wouldn't let me drive again.
No.
Why were you not allowed to drive again, Brick?
They thought it was fast. I didn't think it was that fast.
Rain.
Yeah, we're all here to talk about it. So.
Hey, I turn around and look at them. They're all talking. I turn around. They're all screaming at me. Look at the road. Look at the road.
Why?
I mean, what? Look at the road. I'm fine. I'm in my lane.
And then poor Joe P. Joe P. was always in the front.
Yep.
And he'd look at me, please, not text.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Would look out the side and you want to shake hands with the guy that's driving in the other lane. I'm like, gee, hey, Tex!
Tex goes, hey, we're going up to Bangor, Maine to wrestle. I guess it was for Tony Atlas. So it's me, Tex, Foster, and Andy Jacks. So we get going, we're going, and this is before the cell phones and all that. So we got a road map. I got the map.
Yeah, not even MapQuest. You got like a shoot map,
I
yeah.
got a map out, you know what I mean? And I got directions from Joe P.
He used to call the police, and he'd type them out, and we'd all get little they look like a check, you know, the size of a check, and that was with the directions. No cell phones, nothing.
No, we might have had a beeper then to run to the store to get.
When Beth was pregnant, I had a beeper, but no cell phone, no.
Yeah, so we're driving up there, and I got the map, and I'm like, all right, Tex, we got to take this exit to get on this to head up. He goes, okay, no problem. So I shut the map. Boom. We're all shooting this shit. Next thing you know, a half hour goes by. I'm like, Tex, man, did you miss that exit? And he's like, no, I didn't see no exit. I said, what exit you looking for? And he goes, hey, are we supposed to take that exit back there that said to Maine? I go, yeah, how long ago? Oh, we passed that a while ago.
Yeah.
I said, are you kidding me?
That's not good.
That was so funny. I drove Tex crazy. We go in the store. Tex tells them to, don't let Mike sit in the front. Don't let Mike sit in the front. They go out and sit in the back. I go
Switch the seat.
Front. No, they didn't switch. They went and sat in the back.
Yeah,
Let me in the front. That was a good time. Good time.
Oh, man. So, do you guys, obviously, like, that's a different time, different era in wrestling now.
Definitely different times.
Do you guys agree with where wrestling's gone, like, style-wise?
Well, what it is it's today's kids.
Right.
We went from, like we just said, we went from maps to GPS.
Right.
So you guys
don't even have to know where you're going. You don't have to know where you are. Yeah. You
just go the road.
Just listen to the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just say take right turn, take left turn. You know what I mean? We didn't do that. We were looking at maps and trying to mark them out and go, all right, we got so many miles to get here and look for this exit.
Funny side story: Foster has no GPS and took a map to get here to do the podcast. And we had to meet him at Burger King to get him here.
Yeah. But see what I mean? So he don't even.
He's just so old school. Doesn't even have a GPS.
Don't even bother. I think he just now started going on Facebook.
I'm still not on that.
Yeah, Ash, I was trying to get in touch with you to do the podcast. I was like, I gotta call Brickhouse to have Brick again. I was gonna say, I gotta wait till I see him.
Yeah, the phone number. But now you were talking about the way the direction wrestling's going.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you come up from where we came up, and then what we watched as kids and that, it's tough to get behind what's going on now. I'm not that smart. All those kicks and ding and fly and that, I can't stay with that.
Right.
You know, God bless you, because these kids are
Super athletic.
and talented. Oh, man. But I guess
It's just out.
It's just different.
It's so fast now that you can see so many mistakes. Where if you slowed down and been more methodical about it,
Take your
you
time.
won't make as many.
Well, the way it's funny because I did NWW Trooper Gilmore's shows, right?
Right.
I wrestled Eric Dillon, and we had a match that I mean the finish was a power slam. You know, like we did very little,
Right.
worked the crowd over super over, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm not trying to toot my own horn or whatever, but like Minutemen and the Hoods went out there later on in the night and
Did 1,000 things.
right. And super cool. I really enjoyed their match,
Right.
but it didn't have the same reaction that I got for a power slam finish. You know what I mean? You got to figure out who the crowd is
That's the
Right.
thing.
and work to them.
Because I see, well, I guess I'm just going to talk because everybody, but I see guys down in the back and downstairs and, you know, putting everything together like A to B and go out, and the people don't get behind that first zippity-doo-dah, flippity. If they don't get behind it, then what are you going to kill yourself for?
Yeah, for no reaction.
You know, and then everybody just stops when if you could take your time and tell a story that people can get behind and do one or two of those flip-de-doos, I think you get a better, yeah. You know, now, flying, there's nothing special about it.
Right.
'Cause everybody is. You know, when Jimmy used to go up,
It was a big deal because nobody went up.
yeah, you know, and not saying it has to revert back to that.
Right.
But I mean, some cross section a little bit, you know. And now we're like Ring of Honor. Those guys are phenomenal.
Right.
But my boy Stevie got a job down there, or TK Orion,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I watched his opening. His debut on TV was Sunday. You know, it was good stuff, but I can only watch his.
Right.
Because it was my guy. I even tried to watch a little bit before. It was like, my mind gets scrambled.
TK's a good cat. I wrestled TK like a year ago.
He played baseball and basketball.
Yeah. I was gonna say he talked about how he knew you and stuff like that.
He was coming in. I want to get in. I said, you got a degree from Holy Cross. Just relax. You don't really want to do. Well, he went in.
Guns blazing.
Oh man, he's only been probably a year and change, and he's already got a job.
Let's say it's super cool to see him on TV and stuff like that. He's doing well. Vinny too. Vinny's out there.
He looks like he can slow down a little bit. I think he was brought up with Nikki and me, and and Drew is. So hopefully he can, but he's like a chameleon, can do both.
Right.
Some guys can only go one way, and if it's that fast way, I can't get behind it because I can't follow.
Right. So like, when we wrestle the Minutemen, I feel like we slow them down and they speed us up, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So we always end up meshing well together because we find that middle ground. But there's just some teams that you just when you wrestle them. And they're just, like you said, that one style, that super bop, 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 bop style. They don't want to do our comedy shit. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, and we want to go out there and have fun and high five every little kid.
But that's what gets you guys over.
Right.
Understanding people's gimmicks
That's
is the biggest thing. You're going to wrestle guys that are serious. You're going to wrestle guys that are goofballs. You're going to wrestle guys that either play a fetish gimmick or whatever.
Just anything,
you have
right?
to
You could go
play
anywhere.
to characters.
Right.
That's why we're characters. So you play the characters.
That's my big
characters.
Oh, definitely characters.
That's why you guys can get over me. I can still get booked.
Right. Over all the time. Doesn't matter where you are.
And because we're different now.
Right.
Back
When then everybody was.
so you had to work twice as hard to get over because everybody had something.
So they took it too real, kind of almost, right? Everybody's themselves. Everybody's a
thing is,
badass kind of thing, right?
Well, like, all
Some of
right.
that shit, I don't. The length of their careers, I'm not sure. I mean, it's way too much.
Right.
Your body can only take so much pounding. They might have short runs because every 20-minute match is 20 minutes.
It's 30 bumps.
100 miles an hour. It's like, hey,
Right,
making me
right.
tired watching.
No, exactly.
You say that that's a big thing that I always try to anytime people ask me like what should I work on more, and it's like you got the basics, right? So once you get the basics, it's all about character work from there, and building who you are from there. And I think that's so important. And people that go to all these like the training classes and all that jive, that always lacking the character work.
Well, it's not just that though. How about like when you wrestle somebody and you know how you get far apart, or you stretch too far apart, or you're too close, or something like that.
Right? Yeah.
A lot of guys don't take that time to set up that kind of distance for the spot you're doing.
Gotcha.
Everybody just runs in. So you might come off the ropes faster than me throwing my drop kick. My knees are bent, and you run into me, and I'm in the bottom of my feet. I never got to extend, or
you kick it full force in the mouth.
Go flying. You know what I mean? So, time is a big thing. The thing about wrestling today is I don't see how everybody can do everybody's finisher in one match and just kick out of everything, and then the next match is supposed to do the same thing that they're doing.
Right.
And you just, what are we really getting over here? Are we getting over just fast-paced wrestling? Who gives a damn? Let's do what the hell we
just
want.
Everything.
And this is the finish. You know what I mean? We were taught, like you said, and we know it's changed, but we were taught to start off slow, build it. When it rises, stomp it down, kick it back up, and go home.
Right.
You know what I mean? And today, I don't even know when they're going home.
You start at 100 miles an hour.
It starts at 100. You stay at 100. You know what I mean? But
sometimes that stuff's entertaining, and you know what I mean.
Right?
You
No,
can't,
no.
like,
Hey,
I'm not saying anything.
Right.
We love pro wrestling. It doesn't matter.
Even
wrestling's wrestling.
Way
to us.
back, be able to do that stuff. It's just I feel for the boys, it could be
take the toll.
Take a toll, and if you're not getting either the payoff money or the payoff from the people,
right?
You're killing. Yeah, somebody, and I think a lot of guys miss. Like, you should read the crowd, but there's some places you go. Like if you come to WCW, those matches won't get over, not even a little bit.
Right. The kids are too confused at what they're seeing.
They got to be able to say, and shake them, clap their hands, and then tell the son of a bitch to the heel.
It is entertainment, right?
They start kick.
Yeah, it's like watching a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Little kids are scratching their head trying to figure out who the good guy is and who the bad guy is.
Right.
That style crowd, they get behind.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's insanely over.
I
just like ECW, they came in hardcore. Fans followed hardcore. Of course, we're Americans. We all want to see somebody get smashed in the face with a toaster.
Right.
I mean,
who doesn't?
Where else you going to see that?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just you follow with the times. They had their time.
That was, and then they started doing more wrestling.
Right.
Because after a while,
them guys took a beating. Them guys took a beating.
Take a beating.
They're crazy.
But then you get guys like Lance Storm, and you get Jericho, Benoit, Eddie.
Right.
Out there and grappling.
It's just so smooth. So smooth. It's
Smooth and so aggressive.
Right.
And I feel like that's what made them stand out, is that like a little bit of aggressiveness that was in there,
That goes with any wrestler. Like when you give a move, it's like, how aggressive are you at giving one?
Right.
I mean, can you really punch aggressively? Can you kick aggressively and not send the guy's liver up in his throat? You know what I mean? I'm going
to tell you right now, the Middlesex Express stomps the shit out of me aggressively. When they do that corner spot and they stomp and they tag and they stomp.
Well, they're chuds.
Yeah, oh my God.
It's always like, who's going to take it? Either me or him, and then he always ends up taking it.
You ought to just grab him, switch places, and you guys go do it.
Stomp it to them. I think we're going to have to at the next one.
Think about it.
We'll reverse it up on them, see if they like it. Stomp the shit out of them. Take that, Steve. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Middlesex Express, because they're like you said, they're gimmicks, they're characters, and you said they're working on it and stuff. But like They just got T-shirts.
Yes, they did. They're awesome.
I enjoy their shirts.
They still haven't bought me mine yet.
At the last House of Brick show, the only people selling merch were us, Teddy, and Brandon.
Right.
Why don't you think guys take more of an advantage of that? Because I remember during the show you said you guys didn't even really get those opportunities.
Right.
Like Joe
We
wasn't
did.
setting up gimmick tables for you guys
right.
to set your stuff
I mean,
up on.
Joe would send some of the good guys out and they would sign autographs beside the
Right,
ring.
right.
Okay, but bad guys,
Never.
we never went out there.
Right. You're in the
Never.
back. You don't even leave the
We
back.
stayed in character even when we left the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now we can all go and talk. out
Kind of
in-
mingle around a
Yeah,
little
in
bit,
the
right?
street.
Because every
People are different now because, like,
People have come to terms with the times that wrestling what it's
heels
become.
are okay.
You know, some people say, I knew it all the time, but you still watch it.
right, still watch.
Right, still watch it.
There's some people that put the heels over. So now everybody's got a chance to make money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I went,
I had my T-shirts, but obviously I was late again.
but I said you were late. That's right. I forgot you showed up like halfway through. That's so funny. I think you showed up after intermission, so you didn't even get your shot. But like,
I got a collage through the years, the 8x10s.
yeah, just your progression of 8x10.
Oh, man, damn, those first ones, I was really young.
Yeah, handsome young lad.
Yeah, but it's like, holy shit, where'd that guy go?
He was pretty. He
Pretty.
was pretty.
Pretty.
He was so pretty.
But like, I'm not. Like we went to that show, and we did pretty well at the merch tables. And I left, and I'm just thinking, like, all we did was a battle royal. I'm leaving with some decent coin in my pocket. Like, why didn't more people?
Listen, I left all kind of tables out.
I know. There was like
All
four
for-
tables
all
out.
for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said,
Oh, Cena's dad too. He was selling merch. I forgot
we're
him.
doing fun.
Sodas.
Yeah.
You're doing fundraisers, and all the talent's coming in. So you gotta be fair to them. Whoever can sell anything, I don't care what you sell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sell your pictures, sell your magazine, sell a T-shirt,
Just
sell
anything,
a
right?
wristband, a Band-Aid. I don't care. Sell something.
Brandon sells little
You know
devil
what I mean?
horns.
Just-
Whatever it is, little flashy devil horn.
Right. Exactly. Whatever fit. It's your gimmick.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that today's wrestling, that's the way everybody. But even the pros, you got an autograph signing. You're gonna go pay
Right.
$30 for a
You're gonna
picture
get
and
an
an
8x10,
autograph or
yeah.
an 8x10. You know what I mean? So what's the difference if somebody goes and buys a shirt from you guys or me or Sweet?
Yeah. This is got that right arm.
Because if the guys are really looking to make some money in the business, because they more do it for the passion rather over the money,
Well,
of course.
that's how we are. Because that's why we have real jobs. That's why we have families.
Yeah,
That's why we had
yeah,
kids, got married. You know what I mean? Because we were looking at like, we love doing this, but we know our responsibilities.
But the only way you can really make some money is to push your gimmicks and
Well, the whole thing
try
is-
to sell your stuff.
The way to make money is today's making money is all about merchandise, and it's about selling yourselves. See, we didn't sell ourselves. We sold wrestling.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what we sold. We were taught to sell wrestling. Not merchandise.
Right.
We were taught, you know what I mean? You were taught to do moves a certain way, lockups and stuff like that. And everybody's like, well, like I have traces of cauliflower in my ears.
Right.
And every now and then when it gets cold out, they'll bleed.
Hard.
Off the
Yeah.
top, off the tips. You know what I mean? And that's because when I gave you a headlock, you got a headlock.
You got headlocked.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
Now,
slapped that shit on.
Today, it's like, it's slap happy, knee
A
drop.
lot of that.
Oh my word! I can't take it no more.
But then I see guys, the boys downstairs, they got like handprints on their
matches.
like, why you do that so many times to make like a handprint on their thigh? I'm like, every kick, slap, slap, slap. Like, holy mackerel!
No, everything's a slap,
no,
not
but
just a kick,
Yeah,
a punch. You know what I mean? Oh, it just drives us nuts. It drives you nuts. I can't watch it. I don't watch wrestling like that no more.
Well, I mean, you told the story. You were telling it at the House of Brick show. I remember you schooling that kid. Your retirement show with Jose.
Yeah.
And he's in there with like his MMA gloves on and shit,
Yeah.
all ready to go for his first match ever. And you pull him aside. You're like, kid, take off the MMA gloves.
He said, only Undertaker and Brock Lesnar really
Right, that's
wear
it.
them.
Nobody
I said, how
else.
long you been wrestling? He said, a couple of months. I said, dude, take them off. I said, tape your hands. And he did. He taped his hands.
Unfortunately, I rocked the MMA gloves at one point. And where were you to tell me to take them off? You were nowhere around. I would not listen to training. You told me all the time.
I should say, where were you? Because I was around.
Yeah, that's true.
You're the one that wasn't right. You know what I mean?
If only I was in the right place. That's why I wasn't in the same locker room, because I was wearing them damn gloves.
Oh,
They were like, no, we're not booking that kid.
That's right. You were in the audience. Never mind.
Hey, let's turn this around a little bit. You guys are the team now. Where are you guys working besides
House of Bricks or whatever? What are you guys
Doing
doing?
like NWW. We do the RWA shows. Yeah, Troop is still running. Yep, and we got UFO coming up in Boston.
Right. Oh, that's right.
The
for the
Thanksgiving
children's
show.
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's they do that every year for
The
Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital,
Yeah, up in Boston. Yeah.
We're doing that show.
Girl, I went up one time. I did that. Yeah. Who's you? Dan? Still UFO guy?
We talked to. Oh man, this is terrible. I gotta check my. Let me look at my phone and check the messages. This is terrible. Yeah. Mac, take the mic.
You're looking up what, UFO info?
All right.
UFO info.
Everybody's pulling out their electronic maps.
Oh, checking that. Trini's my booker, so he knows all the info for me.
You're
so.
the trainer. He's the booker. Great. That's
I
great.
keep him on my wing for.
That's why you guys get along so good.
He's a multitasker. He does a lot for Pat. Good old Pat.
UFO. I got it right here in my cell phone.
Is that up in Boston?
Yeah, that's gonna be up the day before Thanksgiving. I think it's the 23rd.
Yeah,
We're gonna be heading up there.
You know
I have no idea. No idea.
It's probably the same hall.
Yeah, it's the same spot that they always run at.
That's
Yeah.
a beautiful place.
Right.
That's a beautiful
Big-
place.
big, right? Yeah, real
it's
big.
big and open.
I think Teddy's
Nice.
working Slick Wagner Brown that show. Yeah,
Slick?
I think so.
Slick's awesome. Good guy.
There's a couple of good matches already signed for that show. So I don't know the info, but look on our Facebook and we'll send you some.
No, that's all good.
Yeah.
Now you see what I mean by going up there and wrestling for a good cause.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why when you do things, it makes you feel good.
It for sure.
That's why I do what I do, because it makes me feel good. And I don't do it just for one fundraiser. I do it for all kinds.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
You just did one for the veterans at the last show.
Yeah, the veterans. I did one last year for veterans. Like I said, they want to keep having us back. We'll keep having them. You know what I mean? I already got 4 venues next year. Hopefully got 5. So
Right.
I'm already, and that's just next year, and I ain't even done with this year yet.
Is there going to be a December HOB show?
No.
You guys take December off?
I am taking off till March. At
Okay,
least.
so
it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not
December,
worth it.
January, February, just because it's such a hassle, right?
Nobody has money on the holidays. You got to cancel shows because of snowstorms you just
Yep.
don't know about New England.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean? So
You never know what
it's
the
already a
crowd's gonna be
hassle
like,
to
too.
call all the guys that I hire, let alone get calls back to say I got to cancel a show. If some people don't see it and they show up, it's like, oh, you came in a blizzard, There's
Right,
nobody
yeah.
there. Nobody there.
To an empty hall.
It's a hassle.
I have to go down there and meet my father-in-law, and I'm going to see. I think I'm going to try to do the end of January, just for that lag time when nobody's really running. And then I'll keep my fingers crossed it don't snow.
Was that
the only
the?
thing you can do? It's like the outside shows. You pray no rain.
Oh man, those.
Man, you think if I got to run that one, I can book the Monster Max?
Oh yeah.
Let me talk to my booking agent first on that one. Training is that all right? Cool.
But do you guys have any advice to guys breaking in? Loads of it. Yeah.
You can give tons of advice.
Right,
I mean,
but like,
how far do they take it? I mean,
True.
Everybody gives different advice. It depends on who you're getting the advice from and if it's legit.
Right.
I mean, there's ribs in this business.
Of course.
So some guys will
Give you a little
down
bit of
a
advice that's
dead-end
not the
road,
best
and
advice.
Some guys will send you on a path.
Right.
You know what I mean? To at least maybe not succeed in the big world, but at least be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Live out your dream. Have fun. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, I don't know. Advice, just
Take your time.
take your time.
Take your time.
Yeah.
And get out there as much as possible, whether you're making peanuts.
Take as many bookings as you can. You can only get better by getting in the ring, period. I don't care if it's a battle royal, an 8-man tag, a 5-man slam, whatever. Just whatever. Just
The good old 5-man slams.
yeah, you know what I mean? Well, just whatever they call it, just do it. I don't like the point that nowadays, like, there was guys I wrestled that didn't like me, or if I didn't like them, we never went up to the booker. Hey, I ain't wrestling this guy. I ain't wrestling. You did
always
that
did
to
business,
a booker?
right?
Good. Pack your bags because you were the guy out the door. Today,
And especially at that time, right? Who was running?
Today, you get guys coming up to you and go, I can't wrestle him. I don't like him because of this. Or, hey, I heard this about this guy. I ain't doing that. I can't put this guy over. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is professional wrestling. Get over yourself. You're living on a high horse, and everybody's equal. Because you can go wrestle by yourself. It ain't going to look too good, but you can go ahead, okay? You need someone on the other side. And just because you're not wrestling all your buddies all the time or your friends all the time, I loved wrestling. You know how many people I wrestled that were different? It's awesome.
Just
I can't
changing
even
it up, right?
All of this, I don't remember half the people's names.
Yeah.
Okay, they probably remember me more than I remember them.
Oh,
But
Ash, remember we worked up there? Yeah.
right.
I could turn the corner. Hey, who was that guy? When we were going, there was years I did 90 shows, and twice a weekend, every weekend, and sometimes 2 shots in the same night,
But I like to know where everybody's like, oh, I need a payday.
Right.
Well, how much money do you get for a payday?
Because
Really,
the payday
think about
situation's real different now than it was then, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Because I know a lot of times you guys were doing these big houses,
Yeah.
not always getting the big payday.
More
Oh.
often than not, where I get an envelope when I get out of the car.
Right.
Now you wait and see, but it's different. But I mean, you go to a VFW hall, and you're going to try to ask a promoter for $50.
Right.
And you're
Go
drawing.
somewhere else.
You're asking $50 for 100 people draw.
Not even. Sometimes
And
not even.
I was just rounding it off.
You're right.
But
I mean,
even that, let alone the building, you got to pay for.
But
And then if everybody got $50, you'd have to have 3 matches. You'd have to have 3 matches because you just paid out $600 to 3 matches or whatever.
yeah,
just
plus the hall.
So
But then guys aren't taking those bookings, but they don't get ahead either.
Right.
Because you could do all your shit, the rolls and the thing and the chop shop and all that stuff. And practice means nothing unless you're working in front of people. A lot of guys now they lose that concept that short money and people is worth millions.
Right.
At some point in time, for the guys that want to do it,
I like the people that run into me and go, Brickhouse, I would love to work one of your shows. And then I go and try to get a hold of them, and they never get a hold of me.
Right, because they're...
You know what I mean? Way to go.
And I'm not... You're a promoter, obviously, right? But when you can, you always do give the boys a little something. Always.
If there's any extra,
Right.
I will send it out to the boys. I'm not in business to make a living.
Right, and especially we're doing these charity shows.
It's
and
charity.
We're not expecting anything.
No, it's charity.
And it's
But
always...
it does help out when you make an extra little bit of money, and you go and see all the guys in the locker room, and you hand out a little bit of money. It doesn't mean nothing, but it means something.
It for sure means
You know
something.
what I mean? It's like you're appreciated more than you think you really are. Just getting a handshake and saying good night.
And some of the kids, some of the people he's using aren't working all over the place.
Right, they're not getting booked regularly.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by me giving people chances.
So to try to hold somebody up like that, it doesn't make any sense because you're not going to work in front of any,
Right.
Doesn't.
We're not
too good for like a battle royal. Just
Well,
like we were on that show and all we did was the battle royal.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I loved being there at that show. There was at no point was I like, oh, screw that, I'm not going because I'm all doing as a battle royal. Like I
people
wanted to
do
be
that.
there, right? And people
People
do that.
Hey, I'll take a booking. All right, I book you. Hey, I got you in a battle royal. Oh, really? I can't make it.
Normally, Trainee hates battle royals too, but he said this battle royal I'm pretty excited about, and I'm looking forward to being there. Normally, he hates them.
I'm gonna go and have some fun.
Nobody likes them. Nobody likes
Right,
them.
nobody. Yeah.
But sometimes
There was
20 people just in the battle royal.
Yeah.
That weren't even in
On the show.
matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah. It took me a while.
Yeah,
It took me a while to get them.
doing 3 shows tonight.
But hey, those kids that came down.
You brought in a lot of Landry's kids, right?
Yeah.
Dick Lane,
Kevin
you brought
Lane.
in Dick Lane.
Yeah,
and,
Dick Lane, yeah.
Frank, I love Dick Lane. He's he's a hilarious
I
dude.
brought in a couple old school guys.
Yeah, for sure. There's Mike Stryker came out of retirement.
Yeah, I guess so. He
Something
come
like
down.
that.
He hit me up, and I said, "Yeah."
Dan the Voodoo Man got fucked up Monster Mac. By accident. Threw his voodoo spells.
Yeah,
he put the little girl under the voodoo spell.
I
and
think
she-
partner put the spell on you when he got whacked
Yeah.
by the little girl. He reversed it.
What, El Pancho, was he there? Or?
El Pancho Ayala.
Yeah. No, I didn't see him there
He's
for the
a
last show. Right?
Southern New England champion. He's
Did he win
he
at
won-
this show or?
He won the belt.
He won the belt.
He beat Matrix.
He was there Saturday.
He won the belt off Matrix.
I didn't even see him.
Yeah.
I got there. He was already.
He was already out. Yeah. He was already out the door. Shook them hands after his match and he was out.
He ran out with the belt. He was so excited. Gotta run home.
Big shows.
So, Teach, what happened with the Southern Heavyweight Championship belt? Because it was Two Buff, right? Two Buff was the champ, and I haven't seen Two Buff in forever.
Oh, two bucks.
After 30 days of not defending the belt, right? Stripped.
The thing is everybody. Hey, the thing
Give me
is,
that belt back.
The thing is, everybody knows a House of Bricks. When you're a champion of any champion, we defend our belts at every show,
Right?
Because that's one thing I've always hated out of pro wrestling, even when I was younger. It drives you nuts when you know that you're having an unsanctioned match with a heavyweight champion. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you go over, but you don't get the belt.
Yeah.
Let's have something. So you can have disqualifications. You can have anything you want, as long as you know that. Bingo. You know what I mean? But I don't like it when they don't show up. That drives me
Yeah, you're
nuts.
trying to build a strong champion, too.
Yeah, right. I'm
wanna just
giving
have-
you a push, no matter what. I mean, it's not like I'm WWE. I don't ever plan on being it. I just running shows and raising money for good causes and watching all these young talented kids wrestle. That's all I'm doing.
Did something similar happen with Amadeus? You remember? Much appreciation too, because he used to come out with the "Rock Me Amadeus, Rock Me Amadeus," and we use "I'm a Player."
Like, yo, Monster Max used the I'm a Player. It's too close. You guys can't use that song. I was like, hell yeah, Brickhouse, thank you.
No.
No,
We couldn't. We told him.
Appreciation on that one.
So, but the whole thing is Amadeus. Everybody hated him.
He's a weird cat. He's a weird cat for sure.
The thing is everybody hated him, and I said, you know what? I went and talked to him after he had his match with Foster, the first time he ever wrestled for us, and it got blown out of proportion. He didn't shake Foster's hand. He almost got his teeth punched in.
Right, yeah.
So
I remember Foster
after
not
that,
being happy
so
about
I
it.
gave him the benefit of the doubt. I brought the kid in. I liked him. I said, listen, and like I said, nobody liked him. And I made him a champion. And the whole thing is he had so much heat in the locker room, outside the locker room.
Right.
And everybody hated him. And it's like, oh, my God. But you know something? That's a great heel champion.
Yeah.
had
He's
heat
getting heat everywhere.
everywhere.
Now, like, was he like an old upper mass guy back in the day? Did he like Salisbury Beach or whatever? Did he wrestle at the beach a lot?
He was Richard. He trained with Richard Burns,
right?
Yeah, because he was up there. I think with Mr. Kowalski because he was around and then
Back in the day, and then
and now,
disappeared.
Yeah. He took time off.
and then came back. He was he was a heater though.
Yeah, for sure.
Heat on him, but he could only go just all right. That kid, I don't know why he was.
It was about attitude.
Right, arrogance,
He had a
right.
tan.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
looked
yeah.
Pretty.
Right, but I mean,
And sometimes in wrestling,
That's
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
everything but wrestling.
First time I met that dude, I was supposed to wrestle Bloodstone at I don't know if it was a House of Brick show at the VFW in Fairhaven. Did you guys do that once?
I only did it once.
And
that
did you
was
bring
for-
back some?
That was for a funeral for a buddy of mine.
I feel like we did like a flashback show or something, and it was me and Mac, and we wrestled Bloodstone, and who was the other guy? Do you remember?
It was an old
Yeah, an older.
Yankee guy, right? An old Yankee guy.
I can't remember. I'm gonna have to find the photos. But he was in the locker room, and he kept like, he had that look in his eyes, like he was on some gimmicks. You know what I mean? Like a little lost in his own mind.
Right.
And he came over and he kept like staring at me and Bloodstone, and he's like, he asked us what we were gonna do in our match, and he kept asking like over and over again, like to call our spots to him.
Right.
And we were like, hey man, like you need to back the fuck off. Like go back over there. Like don't worry about it. And just since that day, I just had a bad taste in my mouth about him. So yeah, he was for sure a heater.
Yeah, well, as of that, he showed up late at a show.
Yeah.
And he come up to me and he wanted to cut a promo. And he was so late that I already sent the match out.
Right.
The match was already out there happening. He goes, what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to go out there and do what you were supposed to do without grabbing the microphone. I said,
Right.
There is no promo. You're late. Now just go
Just
out and
go.
do the rest of it from that spot.
Yeah.
So he went out and did the thing. And what's he go do? My son David gets heated.
Right. And David
John Monroe's standing there. And next thing I know is he kept prolonging, and going
The
back
deal,
and
yeah,
forth. So he turned his back, and David went out and chopped him in his
Yeah.
back. You know what I mean? And then John went out and kicked him in the face. And then he comes downstairs, and he tells me to my face that I set him up.
Yeah.
And I
so
looked at him. I said, listen, there's one thing. If I set you up, you're not standing here talking to me.
right.
telling me that I
Yeah.
set
If you put the hit
up.
out on him to
Because
David
I
and
put it-
John.
I'm going to hit you. I'm going to go do it myself, buddy.
Right.
Okay, that's one thing about me. If somebody's going to hit you, I'm going to hit you. Because you can hit me back. That's fine with me. But, I thought it was rude. I looked right at him and I said, that's the one thing I taught my students. I always said, don't let wrestling go to your head.
Right.
I said, because now it just got real. He looked at me and he says, well, I guess I'm not going to do a promo the second half. You might as well run your show the way you've been running it already. I said, not a bad idea.
Yeah. Thanks.
I said,
Thanks for the permission.
that."
Yeah.
And then he tried to blame it on
Our show.
he tried to blame it on Gary Gold. Gary Gold is standing beside me. So he goes, well,
Shrugging his
I'm
shoulders
leaving.
like-
So he leaves. Gary looks at me and he goes, Brickhouse. He goes, you believe it? He ain't blaming me. He goes, you're not mad at me, are you? I looked at Gary Gold. I said, Gary, I said, you a brother. He goes, oh, man, thanks. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about that. I said, but but Brian never shook my hand when he left.
Yeah.
He got in my face. Listen, if that was a younger Brickhouse.
I can't even
if that
imagine
was a
being
younger-
mad at you.
You can
know
ask
what I mean?
this
Like,
guy. If that was a younger me, that kid would have ate his teeth.
He would have ate his teeth.
'Cause I would have been-
If I wasn't there, he would have kept eating all of them.
So it's not that. I just thought it was rude that he wouldn't think that I would even set him up.
Right,
I don't,
yeah.
I do not run shows like that.
Listen, you're not that kind of person,
Yeah.
to get back chopped by
Yeah,
David
yeah,
or whatever. It's wrestling, you know what I mean?
And
Right.
you're doing 9 fundraisers. It's not like he cost you, but you set him up for what?
Partner, I made him champion. Are you kidding me? He was a champion.
I know I'm mad.
Sorry, Ash.
Set him up.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I almost cleaned his clock, but I didn't. Like I said, the younger me would have hit him.
That's the kind of
But I didn't need that feedback anyway.
Right,
from the
right.
House of Bricks that I knocked this kid's teeth down his neck.
true, yeah.
You know what I mean? But then again, he got a hold of us again, and he wanted to come back and wrestle. And yeah, okay,
Yeah.
you know how that's gonna go.
We never seen him again.
The way you left, and what you did to this guy, just stay with your bad self that way. You can pay to go over in your matches. You know what I mean?
That's a little bit of a shoot there, Brickhouse.
Well, it's not a shoot, you know. Sometimes it's the truth. I mean, there's other guys in this business that have paid to go over. Are you kidding me?
I know.
We have a story that David, young David and Jordan tell me that you don't believe that it happened. But we did a show one time. I think Jordan was booking or something. It was Steve Savage. I don't know if you guys know Steve Savage.
Of course I do.
Jordan was booking the show. It was me, Scotty Jive. I don't know if you remember young Scotty Jive. Yeah, you probably. He wasn't around long enough for you to know, Ash. and Everett Briggs in a three-way. And I watched Bleeks pay Jordan $20 to go over in the match. And when I watched him pay Jordan, I looked to Scotty Jive and I said, "Hey, brother, you're going over tonight. We're changing the finish." Joe Bleeks, I'll show it to you later if you want.
That's right, because he called that.
He calls. Right. We called the whole match, whatever. And Scotty Jive gives me the small package. I'm supposed to kick out at 2, 1, 2, 3. He's standing on the outside of the ring like this. What the hell's going on? The bell rings. Scotty Jive's the new champion.
Part of the finish.
Not even in the finish. Love it.
Oh, that's a good shoot. That's a good shoot.
What was that for?
It was some outdoor show at a bar. Like
it got shut down by the cops halfway through.
I showed up with my.
What was Jordan doing?
That's the day I showed up with my fishing pole.
It was Steve Savage, I believe.
And I was gonna go fishing while the guys were all wrestling, and the show got canceled as soon as we got there. I had to put my fishing pole back in the car.
Steve Savage.
Why do I remember that?
Everybody hates him.
You from Rhode Island?
Yeah, he's a Rhode Island kid.
You know him, partner.
Yeah.
You know him.
That name.
But on the way home from that, the show got shut down right after that match because
was up $20
and he didn't go over. And we have the belt still. The belt that Scotty Jive won that night. It's in the bag here somewhere.
They gonna run again?
I don't think that was like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, if not longer.
That was a while ago. That was funny. I drove all the way to Rhode Island for nothing.
So you guys were all there, right? Because there was like a big run-in at the end.
Yeah, John.
Davey.
John's the one that called all the ruckus.
Right, because he's so big.
The cops.
Right, yeah.
Stuff like that. Oh,
they're beating the shit out of everybody. Monroe's in the ring looking at us like, no, we're cool, guys. You guys are fine. And they're just beating on everybody else.
Yeah, that was funny.
Me
and Jordan were talking about that the other day.
Didn't Chuck Norris get a power bomb from the top rope? I believe.
Yes.
Kicked out of him. We on the way home from that same show, we got pulled over by the cops, and they were, what are we gonna find in your trunk? And we're just both like sweaty wrestling gear, man. Like there's nothing in there. My buddy had a warrant. We thought he was going to jail. It was a whole thing. I'm like, oh man, but Steve's going to jail because we went to the goddamn shitty show with 12 people or whatever it was.
12 people in Bleeco?
There's nobody. 12 people in Bleeco was paying.
Oh my god.
$20 right to Jordan. I seen it and I was like, not today, son. Not today.
Oh, that's too funny.
That is funny.
Now, do you guys have?
Bleeco's a good hand, though.
He'll go out there and he'll bump for you back. Yeah. He's always.
Bleeco been around for a long.
It's crazy how long he's actually been around for.
Long time. He's wrestled a lot of us.
Did he break in at the same time as like Vertebreaker, like a lot of those guys, right?
I think a little before. I think a little before. Yeah.
Vertebreaker, yeah.
I don't even know where he is. I know he moved away.
But do you?
She's still around.
Sandy lives in Fall River.
Still? Yeah, still kicking it?
Yeah.
I seen her come out in your entrance.
Yeah, she came to a couple shows.
Yeah, I've seen her a couple times.
Still had that gimmick, the leotard phone.
Oh, yeah, right over her stuff. Oh, yeah. Still rocking it.
That's the old 70s stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you dress in the 70s.
No.
These are spandex and not swimsuits like back in the day. You know what I mean?
Just straight up actual bathing. Yeah. Wearing a one piece and wrestling in the ring.
Right. Yes.
Do you guys have like a one road story that sticks out in your mind that you wouldn't mind telling? Something that stands out as like the road story.
Kelly was pregnant. So we work for Rocky. Thompson Speedway. It was right after the 4th of July.
Right, yes. That was that big house, that big show.
Was that when you had the fireworks? Did you get fireworks that show? I seen a show where packed Brickhouse and you had like the Dudley Boys.
No, that was the Shriners Auditorium.
Okay.
That was the Shriners Auditorium. That was a different show.
So we go. There's like 5,000 people
Right.
at this Thompson Speedway in the bleachers and that. Well, Tiny the Terrible, he did something inbred. They were throwing batteries.
They were trying to climb the fence. Going to kill him.
So Rocky throws it next thing. So we go in. And we drive in.
They took us to race car and took us around the track.
Oh, it was the coolest thing.
Yeah. Get out with the people. Like,
That's your entrance.
yeah. They did it for all of
So
us.
we worked with the twins.
Power company, right?
Yeah. And something happened. Partner, what the fuck that ass? I'm like,
Aye.
I come in and we do a thing. Before the road story is when all this chaos was finally over. Tiny was asking us to get his money from Rocky. Rocky said, I'll kill that little bastard.
You ruined my show. I'll kill you. Oh, my God. Get the fuck out of my locker room.
Man, we'll try to pick it up. So we get another lap. We got the belts now. That was kind of cool. He's fuming in the back.
Flipping out.
Hey, it was going to be okay. We go to leave. So we paid, great payday, perfect. I said, partner, the last time I left here, I went to Hartford,
Connecticut.
to get lost. Yeah. Well, sure and shit.
I go, nah, we won't do that, partner. There's two of us.
Same shit. Yeah.
Twice. I got off, got back. I said, partner, again we're in Hartford. I was no GPS, no nothing.
Yeah. Like, what are
we
we doing
left Thompson
wrong?
Speedway. I went to Hartford 2 times. Same night, same road trip. I said,
what are we doing?
Boy.
We kept taking the wrong exit.
Back and we go.
Oh,
back
that's
and
funny.
forth. I was like,
We're calling our houses. Man, we'll be home in another hour.
Yeah.
Another hour.
cell phones then.
Yeah, we had cell
It
phones.
came out, it was a little
Flip
bit
phone.
different.
You're like,
Flip
yeah.
phone,
No
Not
GPS.
touchscreen, not
No
touchscreen.
GPS.
At least some communication. You're like, why am I seeing this "Welcome to Hartford" sign again?
That was
Again.
Funny. That was funny. And then
And she could have popped at any second.
Yeah, she was just ready to.
Yeah, 8.5 months. I was like, when we left, I said, holy man. Finally, we get on the path. Well, now I'm like pissed beyond.
Right.
We must have got, I was driving like, I said, the capper of this night is we're going to get pulled over. I think I drove 55 all the way. Yeah, enough's enough.
Like that's it. We are not getting pulled over tonight. I'm getting home.
Right. 2 times to Hartford. Coming from Thompson. It took us an hour and 5 minutes to get there. Took us almost 4 hours to get home.
that was
You broke Brickhouse.
that was good though. That was good. I just pictured in my mind our faces when we did it. It's like, you're fucking kidding us. Again? I'm like, yep, again. Well, how we doing this? We clicking our heels and
It's
going
like, yeah,
the wrong way?
wait a minute.
There's no place like home. We're in a dream. You know, is this flashback? We keep going backwards. Like, holy shit, man, it was great.
What about you, teacher? You got one in your one that stands out?
Wow, just one time me and him were coming from a show, and, we had a few beers. You know what I mean? And,
No. No. Wrestling and beers?
Actually, no. They were actually road sodas. Anyway.
There it is. Yeah. That's
anyway,
the brand, right?
anyway,
Road sodas.
Partner goes, listen, partner, why don't you drive? Because I'm tired today and stuff like that. So I said, all right, I'll drive. Yeah, it's pouring out. I mean, pouring so you can't really see in front of you. And we're coming through the old S-curves in Providence. This guy, partner, slow down. You're going too fast. I said, partner. I'm doing 45 miles an hour. I said, I go any slower. We're getting ass ended. He goes, wow. He goes, man, it feels like we're going so fast.
That seems to be
North Conway.
Yeah, right. So, just good shit.
Rocky show. We had some tough times.
I heard those Rocky shows were always pretty wild.
Entertaining at
Right, at least, right? Yeah.
No, the go home. I mean, literally going home.
Oh, going home.
Really. Oh.
I heard some funny voicemails he left Davey Cash and
Later on.
right, yeah, that's last year or the year before or whatever. Yeah.
Back in the old days, Rocky was great to work for. It was big, But there was one day, who was that one? So we get paid. Partner puts his money in the bikers.
Yeah.
Money, I don't know, shower, everybody's ready.
I put my money down on my thing, but I had it on my clothes. So when I moved my clothes to go take a shower, I dropped it.
Yes.
It fell on the floor, but I didn't know I dropped it. I knew I threw it on my bag, so I took a shower and stuff like that, and
I was done first for once. Unbelievable. I don't know how I pulled it off.
Me neither. He was already running around changed.
That's the same with us, man. He's always in his normal clothes, and I still have everything on. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
So he comes out of the shower. He said, partner, I think somebody stole my payday.
My money's missing.
So it was like 4 Buff Bagwell lookalikes working. The one on this one was the one from the Boston area. He rode with Beefcake a lot. Yeah. So I said, it was right here. He went out first, so I fly into the parking lot.
Because he asked a couple people,
Yeah, it wasn't you, yeah.
I say, hey, you have an extra $100? He goes, oh, so he goes through his fanny pack, gets the money out. He goes, why, is this somebody's? I said, you know damn well it's somebody's.
Right, yeah.
So I give him the money. Yeah. Now everything's good.
I want to kill him.
Right, yeah, understandable.
I was going to go inside and kill him.
I got the money.
I got your money. I'll go kill that kid.
So we go to the store. Yeah. He's got sweatpants on now for the ride. Loses the payday.
I lost it again.
I says, hey, guys, what the fuck? We get it. Finally, he's going to I snatch it. I put it in my pocket. Yeah. We drive all the way home. We were up North Park. We had 4 shows in one day, all for Rocky Hour. Right. Same 6 guys in the locker room.
Oh, geez. Switch.
Finally got it home. Now, in my Zubaz, I can't find the money. I said, I had it. So I'm looking. So now, $200 between the both of us. That's a good day. Yeah. Now I only have 100. So I'm thinking to myself, well,
What I do with it?
I already went and got it, so I'm at least going to get 50 out of this. And he wouldn't have had anything. Now I know I lost his. But it sure didn't shit. It was on the next to the seat, next to the door, coming out. Came out of my zoo. I said, hey, take this money. I'm going home. This road trip, this has been the trip of hell, man.
Yeah, it was funny, though. It was great.
Fanny packs, man. You got to go with the fanny pack. You guys wouldn't have lost it.
We did. We used to have them back in the day and stuff, but,
I love me a fanny pack. I don't know. I'm all about it. Guys, it's been great having you coming on the podcast. It's been a fun-ass episode 50.
Thanks for having us. Always a pleasure with you guys.
Oh, and Ash would love to have you on again. Break it down, get some tell the story of Sweet Scott Ashworth. I wanted this one to be more of like a bullshit and having fun.
Well,
drinking.
There's a lot of stories.
I know,
but there's a lot of stories
you can't tell. Right?
Not tell.
I like to tell people a podcast really happens when we're not recording.
Yeah, right.
We tell all the fun stories.
Off the air. Wait a minute.
Right, yeah.
Hey, your mic's on.
I got to give a couple of shout-outs to some people. Frank the Crank. He picked up long-time listener. He's the one that harassed us into doing the podcast again. We took a long time off.
Yeah, you guys
we just kind of brought it back. It took like 9 months. We stopped doing it.
Good for him. We're talking
and
into
it. Every time I see him, he's like, "When are you doing a podcast?"
Have us here.
What's up with the podcast? All the time. So Frank the Crank, thank you, man. I think you get a shout-out on the next couple episodes because you get brought up by the NCW guys and by the heavy hitters. We had the heavy hitters in here.
We won't do a Maccast with him, though, until he gets a few more matches under his belt. Yeah. He has to retire at least 2 more times. He's got to have
a little bit of history under him, don't he?
2 more times he has to retire. He already retired once.
Once he's back, he's going to have to wait for him to retire again before we can have him on. We're going to give a shout-out to Nick Carici. I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but he ran our merch booth at the last show. Thanks, man, for doing that. You know what I mean? That was just nice of him in general.
The mask, right?
Right. Rather than us, the guys in the masks. And Mary Rose, gothicupcake.etsy.com. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Or facebook.com/ hold on, I lost it. Gothic cupcake model, and it's a lot of modeling stuff you get. She did like a Harley Quinn shoot, all kinds of stuff. These people picked up the Mattcast t-shirts, and they're sweet. You can pick up yours, get a shout out on the Mattcast, folks. But
Wrestling Tees, right?
oh, yeah, and the Pro Wrestling Tees site. You gotta get the gimmicks from the ProWrestlingTees.com/Mattcast.
Much appreciated. You guys came down, made it to the Mac Mansion, and made the Maccast episode 50 a special one. So I want to thank you guys for doing that. I had a great time telling some awesome stories.
Thank you guys. Anything else you guys want to throw out there at the end? I know HOB 1118.
Yeah, 1118. That's
You
it,
could
man.
check it out. House of Bricks
Check
on
us out
Facebook.
Anyway, I mean,
YouTube.
we have our YouTube and stuff like
Turnbuckle
that. So check it
TV.
out, Turnbuckle
We're on like
TV.
5 episodes. Find them.
Yeah. Always got new episodes coming out. all
Yeah,
the
as I say,
time.
you guys got them at least once or twice a month, right?
Once a week.
Rumor
Every Thursday.
has it that Team Mac Attack is might be the number one contenders here. I'm the one spreading the rumor. That's why.
Plug.
Yeah. No big deal if you want to go to that show and watch us wrestle the Middlesex Express for the tag belts. Maybe somebody here that can make that happen. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's not.
What, you
fully
guys give me a
confirmed
ticket?
yet.
You guys give me a ticket? That's awesome. That's awesome.
Spread that rumor enough, it might come true.
Right.
That's on your next podcast. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Hey,
guys.
thanks for having us. If you're listening to the Mac podcast, don't stay home at your computer. Go out and support your local independent wrestling. You got a lot of guys out there with some talent that really bust their ass for the fans.
I like to let people know, like, when they find out that I wrestle and stuff, like, there's much more to wrestling than just what's WWE and all that. Indie wrestling, there's a good chance you're gonna not spend a lot of money,
where the
enjoy
real stars
yourself.
are.
Right, you're gonna enjoy yourself, and you're gonna have a great night for not
For nothing.
for not $100.
Right, exactly. Whole family.
And you can see the next stars of tomorrow. Hey, I remember I saw him at the VFW on Appleton Street.
How many guys have been in that VFW or at the PAL that are
You
now on
never
TV?
know who gets called to go.
Right.
It could be anybody.
I mean, hell, that Ellsworth guy's been on TV for like 2
hey,
months.
you know what? Good for him. And if
Exactly.
everybody's jealous of it, too bad.
No,
Suck
I
it
say
up.
it's awesome.
It's
I'm good-
awesome. He's
Good
there.
for that kid.
He's there.
Cookie cutter.
It's
you know?
right. Something different.
I think he's a promoter from the Midwest. I think.
Really?
Yeah, and he.
I like that.
That
different.
shtick that's going on is pretty funny. I enjoy
I
it.
can get behind.
Something out of the mix of the ordinary of what they're doing.
Right, for
Bring
sure
something
mixes
out,
it up a
something
little
fresh,
bit.
like a fresh apple thrown in there, So it's all good. It's all good.
But
But yeah, definitely support indie wrestling.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's
Support
the
indie
best.
wrestling.
It's the best.
And thanks for listening, guys.
Much love to the fans and much love for you guys. We always have it. And thanks very much every time at the end of the shows. I thank you for having me to your awesome shows. I have a wonderful time. Much appreciated.
Also, this is a true thing. When I a few years ago, when we were talking about getting back into wrestling, he told me, he was like, man, he's like, we're probably not going to make it to WWE, but my goal one day is for us to be like Brickhouse and Ashworth popular. And that's a legit
How
thing
long
that
you
he
been
really said to
wrestling
me. I mean, not counting all the time we took off, probably like 6 years.
All right, so we
got a little time. We got a little time
24
left. Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It takes a little while, but you
Little
guys
while.
will get there. Don't worry about it.
right.
Everybody knows who you are.
We love you guys. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a good night.